I hope you guys are having a great week. It's Thursday. I hope you're getting geared up for the weekend. If you've got gigs tomorrow or over the weekend, that you're excited about it. And I know that we are. We've got a kind of a birthday party specialty show coming up on Saturday. I mean, it's open to the public. Should be a ton of people there. I always love playing in new places, playing for new faces, all that kind of thing. So again, if you're not familiar, this is the Reverend Barry, or I am Reverend Barry, and the name of the channel and the name of our YouTube channel and our podcast, everything is called the Badass Bandleader Show. And what I do is I really want to talk. I'm talking to cover bands mainly, but also original bands, just how to have a better band, how to make more money, how to play for bigger audiences and get more fans. So on tonight's episode, we're going to talk about how no one member of your band should be bigger than your band. I'm going to tell you what I mean by that. But before I do, I want to go ahead and throw this up here, that if your band is interested in making more money in a unique way, especially if you're playing bars a lot and you're frustrated that you're stuck in the mode where you're making like $100 a man or whatever, our band has been able to figure out a process where we actually do our own events. And sometimes we do them at bars, sometimes we do them at like ballrooms or stuff or whatever. And you can sell tickets. And we just came off a show. Actually, I just got paid by the venue here a couple days ago. It came out to $3,600, and that's what we put in our pocket. And I mean, if that same bar would have hired us outright, it would have been a lot less than that. Put it that way. So if you want to learn more about that process, go to Rev Class. Again, my stage name is Reverend Barry. And so I have put together a little video there. If you go to revclass.com, we just spell out exactly how we do it, what it's all about, and how it works. And I think you'll get a lot out of that. So back to the topic at hand. This is the topic that I was actually asked by somebody personally on by Facebook Messenger if I would do a video on this topic, and I'm happy to do so, because it just so happens I'm passionate about this topic, which is this is actually, I didn't come up with this. Actually, our band's manager. Howdy, Johnny. How you doing, man? Thanks for joining us. So the band's manager is a guy that's he's actually been on the road a lot with a lot of old soul acts, and he was actually on the road with the Temptations for a while. And he said that the Temptations have a saying, which is nobody is bigger than the Temptations. In other words, what they meant is that no one member of the Temptations was ever bigger than the Temptations. So he said it was not uncommon that if they had a band member, or I guess somebody was in their singing group or what have you, that was giving them a lot of problems, either they were drinking way too much or doing drugs or whatever, and they'd get rid of them because they knew that nothing was bigger than the Temptations. And he said, of course, being famous and being the Temptations, they were able to get somebody to jump on a plane and within 24 hours and come and be the replacement. So I thought that was interesting, because you have to think that, with the Temptations, obviously, they're a famous group and they're out there doing their thing. And, you would think, and here's what we think of as band leaders. I know, because I've had these thoughts so many times throughout the years. I've been in bands for a long time. I've been since I was 15 years old. Man, you had that thought that if you lose that one key member of the band, that it's just going to fall apart, right? That it's, if we don't have such and such on guitar, or if we don't have such and such, especially as our lead singer, that's a big one, our front man or our front woman, the whole band's going to fall apart. And it can't hurt. There's no doubt about that. But what I think the guy especially the person who was sending me the message personally on Facebook to talk about this topic, was basically that I've toured with a bunch of big bands as a backline tech. That's cool. So you've probably seen this kind of stuff backhand or firsthand. So what I think the guy that was sending me the message on Facebook was saying, we had somebody in the band who basically thought he was the band, and it was driving the rest of the band members crazy, and people were wanting to quit because of this one person. And I have experienced that exact thing myself. Our band we've been around for about 7 years, and when we started, we had a female singer who, she was great. I mean, she was a really great vocalist, and but she was pretty moody, and she was also she was a stereotypical diva, to be honest. You know, like she would come to some of the gigs, and she would just be on fire. She would perform, I mean, incredible. The crowd was like super into her. Had this great voice, great stage presence. And then sometimes she would come to the gigs, and like if she'd have an argument with her boyfriend or whatever on the way to the gig, she would just like literally be in a bad mood the whole night and literally stand there with her hands in her pockets throughout the show. And our crowd would be like, we'd go on break and they'd be like, what's wrong with her? Is she's sick or something? And, you know, and we had to like kind of make excuses for her. And, you know, and she rarely ever showed up for rehearsal. And when she did, she'd like be on her phone the entire time. She never prepared for rehearsal. You know, and then it just got to be, and it was this thing, but yet she was still super popular, right? So, and it got to be where the band kind of started revolving around her, it felt like, and then she started doing a project with another band, and so she kept subbing out and having another singer come sing with our band, and it got to be where people were messaging us, asking us if if the original singer was going to be singing that night or if it was going to be the sub. And I was like, this is getting out of hand. You know, we can't let our band revolve around this person. That was never my intention. So coming back to my original point is that there's no one in your band that's bigger than the band itself. And I know that's easy to say. It really is, because we actually had our lead guitarist left the band here about, it's been a few months ago, and he was an original founding member with me. And it was not a bad breakup or whatever. He actually decided to move we're in Florida, he decided to move to LA and just kind of decided to do some different things with his career. And at first you're like, oh man, it's like a punch in the gut, and you're thinking, oh my God, how are we going to replace him? He's so integral to the band, and we wrote so many songs together and all that. But I thought, you know what, I've been doing this long enough. I mean, I'm almost 50 years old, so I know enough now to know that that's not true, that, you know, that there's nobody's bigger than the band. And we were able to replace him, and we found a really great guy, because, you know, our band does pretty well. We make decent money, we play really high profile shows, and we have a huge following. And I knew that we had something that was worth coming into for the right guy, that if there was a really great player out there, he would want to be part of this. And plus I had to, as a band leader, and that's really what this channel is about being a band leader. I had to instill confidence in the rest of the band to let them know, no, look, we've got something good going on here. We've got something great going on here. We are going to find somebody who is equally great, who wants to be part of this. And I was right. And not because I'm so smart, but just because I've seen it happen throughout the years. So if you're a band leader and you're struggling that you have somebody in your band that is just a problem, you know, they are a diva, or they're, you know, maybe they're a great player or a great singer, but yeah, I'm a bass player. Johnny is asking a question. I'm a lead singer in a band called Reverend Barry and the Funk. So probably should have said that earlier for those who are new to the channel. But so yeah, you can look us up. You can see some of our music. But so it's your job as a band leader to take the temperature of the rest of the band, because that's cool. So when you have somebody like we had in that diva, that girl that was causing a lot of problems, it was really starting to affect everybody, because we have 8 people in the band. And so, you know, it got to be where what she was doing was unfair to everybody else. And they're looking to me as the band leader, kind of like, they're not saying it outright, but they're kind of waiting to see what I'm going to do, you know, because I needed to do something. And, you know, I had to let her go. And it was pretty painful at the time, because she was so popular, and we had people say, you know, oh man, if she's not in the band anymore, is the band going to be able to make it? Or they're never going to be able to find anyone as good as she is, and all that. But I never created the band to be a showcase for her. It's not a showcase for anyone. It's not a showcase for me. I mean, it's got my name on it, but, you know, but I play bass and I sing, and yeah, I'm in the middle, but the band is not about me. And I hope that your band isn't necessarily about you either. So, because the thing is, if your band members are frustrated because of some guy or some girl that's just not pulling their weight, or they're difficult to be around, or this is a huge one. If they're hooked on drugs, or if they're an alcoholic or something like that, take it from me. I know this is going to seem heartless, but it never works. That is a formula for disaster. That's the one thing that I have no tolerance for, because I have seen it. One of my first experiences when I was a band in my 20s, we were like thinking we were going to get a record deal and all this kind of stuff. And we had this guitar player who, he was addicted to drugs, and we found out the hard way. And I won't go into the whole story, but we had to let him go. And at the time we thought, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever. And we replaced him in a matter of about a month. And it was but we went through so much drama to lead up to that point. So I'm just telling you, man, if you have somebody who has an addiction problem of any sort in your band and it's becoming a major issue, you got to let them go, because I just don't think it's ever going to work out. I really don't. Again, sorry if I seem heartless. If that's you, then as a band leader, it's unfair to the rest of the people in your band to even have to deal with that. So make those hard decisions, and have confidence that you're going to be able to find, if your band has something going on, if you're playing out, if you've got gigs. Because I see so many bands out there that are struggling. They struggle to get gigs. So if your band has gigs, there's lots of musicians out there that just want to join something that's already got something going on. Because I see lots of guys putting, they can't find steady work as a musician or whatever. So, they're out there. Again, it depends on your market. Maybe you're in a place where there's not just a lot of musicians, but, I know in our area, it seems like they're everywhere. So anyway, just have the confidence that you can replace people. There is nobody bigger than your band. And just, make that decision, even though it's tough, and, because it's better for the band overall. Again, this has been Reverend Barry with the Badass Band Leader Show. And if you want to figure out how to get your band paid more money, get paid more than that $100 minimum per man or whatever, we've been able to figure it out. Go to revclass.com. That's REV as in Victor, class.com, and see how we've been able to make anywhere from $2,500 to $4,500 playing standard bar gigs. These are not private events or weddings. We do those too, but you normally get paid a lot for those. We're actually doing bar gigs, selling tickets. It's been amazing. So check it out. Check out that video, explain how we do it. I hope you enjoy it. And if you have something that you would like me to talk about on any of these episodes, hit me up, Facebook Messenger, or make a comment on this video. I read everything, and I just want to help. So rock out this weekend. Hope you have great gigs. Yeah, man. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.